Shalom. I want to give all praises and glory to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahushai. Yahushai, Yahweh is the Heavenly Father. Yahushai is the Heavenly Father's Son. And I want to give double honors to my apostles of great millstone, the true elders of Israel today, who rule well. And salutations and honor to the hopeful elect out there pushing this truth and sincerity. To you women and children, enduring. Keep on enduring because we're at the end of this. Alright. Now this guy right here, Elon Musk. I don't really know too much about him. I just came across this video on YouTube. And I'm sure he's a very popular guy. But he goes on to talk about World War III and if it happens, there might be another so-called dark age, which the dark age, a lot of people say that the dark ages are called the dark ages because the historians, they don't know much about that time. That they don't know much of the history of that time, which is a complete lie. The Dark Ages are called the Dark Ages because in that period of time, the Israelites ruled, which are so-called Native Americans, so-called African Americans, and so-called Hispanics. And they ruled Europe and England and different parts of the world with the iron grip around that time. The iron fist. All right? But the reason why the historians are, they say that they don't have much history on that specific time is because the time that our people ruled, and they don't want our people to know that. They don't want you Israelites to know that. Same thing with the Native American Indians. They also say that they don't have that much history, or they don't know that much about the so-called Native American Indians. But that's a lie, man, because they know according to the scriptures that the so-called Native American Indians were Israelites. All right, call them savages. They say they say that they don't have a language. They say that they don't have a language, which is a complete lie. The so-called Native American Indians spoke Hebrew. All right, and there's proof. But I'm not going to talk about that. That's another topic. All right. This guy knows that there's going to be another so-called dark age. The Israelites are going to come back into power. All right. Now he's saying that he's not predicting it, but he can't say that. He, in the back of his head, he knows that the Israelites are going to come back into power. But he's not allowed to say that. All right? And he goes on to talk about if there's a World War III, which there is, and we're in the midst of it, that in order to save the kingdom of Esau, the kingdom of Edom, that they're gonna have to go to Mars and come back and shorten the so-called Dark Age. All right. So he's talking about another Renaissance, but that's contrary to the scriptures. You know, this is Malachi chapter 1, and I'm gonna start at verse. I'm starting at the top. Malachi chapter 1, and I'm starting at the top. The burden of the word of the Heavenly Father Yahweh to Israel by Malachi. I have loved you, said the Heavenly Father Yahweh. Yet ye say, wherein hast thou loved us? Was not Esau's, you so-called white people, Jacob's brother? Jacob is Israel. I mean, because if those of you who don't know, Jacob's name was changed into Israel, which are the Israelites. Was not Esau Jacob's brother? Said the Heavenly Father Yahweh. Yet I love Jacob, and I hate Esau. All right, so the Heavenly Father says he hates you so-called white people. Let me read that again, verse 3. And I hate Esau, and laid his mountains and his heritage waste for the dragon of the wilderness. All right? So that's your World War III right there, man. Continuing on at verse 4. Whereas Edom said, we are impoverished. Now this is what this guy is saying. Whereas Edom said, we are impoverished, but we will return and build the desolate places. Thus said the desolate places. Thus said the Heavenly Father Yahweh of hosts, Salakia. Thus said the Heavenly Father Yahweh, they shall build, but I will throw down, and they shall call them the border of wickedness. All right. So the Heavenly Father is saying you can build all you want, but he's going to throw down. Let me read that again. They shall build, but I will throw down, and they shall call them the border of wickedness, and the people against whom the Lord, against the Heavenly Father Yahweh, have indignation forever. Forever. All right? And I must be allowed to read this fifth verse. And your eyes shall see, and ye shall say, the Heavenly Father Yahweh will be magnified from the border of Israel. All right? So once Israel is back in power, we're not coming back out of power. All right? Thus save the Lord. And we are in the midst of World War III. All right? This is Jeremiah chapter 50, and I'm starting at verse 3. For out of the north there cometh up a nation against her. All right? Now, what is that nation that comes out of the north? That's Russia. Against her. Who is her? That's America. Which shall make her land desolate, and none shall dwell therein. They shall depart both man and beast. All right? Meaning America is going to be destroyed. Man and beast. Everything that's in America is going to be completely disintegrated. All right. This is verse 4. In those days and in that time, said the Heavenly Father, said Yahweh Ba'ashem Al-Shai, the children of Israel shall come, they and the children of Judah together, going and weeping. They shall go and seek Yahweh Ba'ashem Al-Shai, their power. They shall ask. You know what? I'm going to leave it like that. You know what? No, I'm going to read verse 5, Slakia. They shall ask, and they shall ask the way to Zion with their faces hitherward, saying, come and let us join ourselves to Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushai in the perpetual covenant that shall not be forgotten. All right? And it goes on to say that the Lord's people was lost sheep. And the reason why the Lord's people was, one of the reasons why the Lord's people was lost sheep, because they were destroyed for lack of knowledge. All right? You Edomites stripped them from their native tongue, from their history. We wasn't even able to speak our language. We wasn't able to speak about our history. We wasn't able to speak about our power, Salakia. And that ultimately led us. That's one of the reasons why we were lost sheep. Because we were destroyed for lack of knowledge. We couldn't pass that information down to our youth. And that's what you devils are doing today. Saying that you don't know nothing about the Dark Ages. Saying that you don't know nothing about the so-called Native American Indians. You devil stripped us from our riches physically and mentally. All right. And what I'm going to do right now, I'm going to play this video. And with that, Shalom.
There's likely to be another Dark Ages, which it seems, my guess is there probably will be at some point. I'm not predicting that we're about to enter Dark Ages, but that there's some probability that we will, particularly if there's a Third World War. Then we want to make sure that there's enough of a seed of human civilization somewhere else to bring civilization back. And perhaps shorten the length of the Dark Ages.
Now, did you hear what he said? He said perhaps shorten the length of the Dark Ages. Now, why would you want to do that? Because you devils know that the nation of Israel is coming back into power. And that's the so-called Dark Ages. Let me rewind that. I'm going to listen to that again.
Then we want to make sure that there's enough of a seed of human civilization somewhere else to bring civilization back and perhaps shorten the length of the Dark Ages. I think that's why it's important to get a self-sustaining base. Ideally on Mars, because Mars is far enough away from Earth that a war on Earth, the Mars base might survive. is more likely to survive than a moon base. But I think a moon base and a Mars base that could perhaps help regenerate life back here on Earth would be really important, and to get that done before a possible World War III. Last century we had 2 massive world wars, 3 if you count the Cold War. I think it's unlikely that we will never have another world war again. There probably will be at some point.
Or if we have another one, it'll be the last.
Yeah, it just could be radioactive rubble. So, again, I'm not predicting that. It seems like, well, if you say given enough time, will it be? Most likely, given enough time. This has been our pattern in the past. I really believe in the zeroth law of Asimov's zeroth law. You can take the set of actions most likely to support humanity in the future.
Talking about your time allocation, I think one of the things you spend an awful lot of time thinking about, I know, is artificial intelligence. It's something that you and I have as a shared interest, and it's something that our audience is interested in as well. The question here is, a lot of experts in AI don't share the same level of concern that you do about the dangers of AI.
Fools.
What
famous last words?
What specifically do you believe that they don't?
Well, the biggest issue I see with so-called AI experts is that they think they know more than they do.
All right. I got another verse, man, because you devils are going into slavery. All right. The nation of Edom is going into slavery. Thus saith the Lord. All right. Now, I'm going to bring the scripture out. Obadiah talks about Edom, and the specific verse that I want to get, this verse that I want to get through the Spirit also mentions you other nations. All right. Slack you. All right, this is Obadiah, chapter 1. There's only one chapter, verse 15. For the day of the Lord, so for the day of Yahweh B'Hashem Yahushai is near upon all the heathen. As thou hast done, it shall be done unto thee. Thy reward shall return upon thy own head. All right. Now that's the point. I could keep on going on. Yeah, you know what? I'm not gonna read on, but I advise you brothers to read this whole chapter. This is a good chapter concerning Edom. This is a real good chapter. All right, and with that, this is a brother Bashar. Shalom.
And they think they're smarter than they actually are.